right, Coach, you're heading west to face Orange County for the first and only time this season. What kind of challenge are you expecting from this matchup?
Yeah, Orange County have been one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the entire league at home. They've only played maybe one home game in the last month or so, but I think they're like 5-1 lately. They're scoring loads of goals. So when they play at their home field, they're a different animal. They want the ball. They build in a really good, distinct style. They also get strikers and attackers and playmakers in dangerous spots. So we know going on the road that they get a win. They're in their playoff spot with games in hand, so they're confident, they're flying, they're ready to go. They've got a huge match. We've got a huge match. So it's always tough to travel from one side of the country to another, but we want to make sure we're putting ourselves in our best foot forward, making sure we're disciplined, we're organized, we're prepared. And then come Saturday night, we got to fight. They're going to be up for it. It's going to be a major, major battle. Their season is in the balance, and they're at home, and they have strong belief in good players, and Danny does an incredible job coaching them. So, tough game. We're excited for it. I think it brings out the best in us, and we'll push and hopefully tilt it in our favor.
Right now, you guys are unbeaten against Western Conference opponents this year. What's been the key to that success on the road?
I don't know if it's West Coast versus East Coast or just focus. We've got some, I think we're in the middle of a few Western games in a row. So, we'll see how those cross-conference games go. But, for us, it's more focus on ourselves, focus on the task at hand, which is extremely difficult, one of the tougher games of the season by far. But I think where we've had success in the past is being sharp, being focused, being disciplined. And like last week, we went to El Paso. We didn't necessarily play a great game, but we focused on a couple things defensively and relied on some things into attack to tilt it. So it's going to have to be the same in Orange County. We'll have to be a little bit sharper in between the lines against a good organized block, but then also make sure that we're really prepared defensively for their kind of athletic, strong, technical animals going forward.
With the win in El Paso, you guys clinched a top 4 finish and home field advantage for the first round of playoffs. What's the group's mindset right now, and how are you kind of keeping them focused on finishing the season strong?
Yeah, I don't, some of those things we haven't, clinching the playoffs and clinching a home berth, and those things haven't necessarily set in until after the fact. We're focused on 1 90-minute performance at a time, and even before that, we're focused on 3, 4, 5 days, whatever it is, of preparation to get better. So 5 games left. That's 450 minutes of the regular season, 540 guaranteed minutes. We want to play as much soccer as we can this year, and we know that the best way to do that is have a good week of training, go to Orange County against the top team and one of the best coaches in the league, and try to play our socks off and get all 3 points. So the focus is just having on a good week. The competition in training's great. The attitude from the boys have been great. The effort's been top. We just need to keep pushing. We know how tough of a game it's going to be.
I know at the beginning of the summer you kind of talked about the summer gauntlet and playing a ton of tough games on the road. Now you're going West Coast, going back to the West Coast. I guess how do those two compare in terms of how the guys are feeling, travel-wise, the time difference and everything?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think, we dropped some points here and there, whether it was like at Rhode Island or at home, unfortunately, against Oakland. And that happens, right? You play tough games week in and week out. Dropping points is part of it. You just want to limit it. But going on the road is no joke. Crossing 3 time zones in 7 hours of flights, and last week was crazy. So we just focus on what we can influence, our attitude, our effort, our performance, our togetherness, being selfless, working our socks off, and hopefully get the result to go our way.
You guys kind of got a surprise break coming up. How are you going to use that week to prepare and rest, take care of bodies, and get ready for the final stretch of the season?
Yeah, I think though you could only, the schedule was what it was. Sacramento's in a cup final, and we play them in the last week of the season. So we'll give a little bit of a break, some smaller days off, a weekend off, so the boys can recharge and refresh. And then knowing the last week of the regular season will be madness, playing a home game, going all the way out, playing back. So, but we'll deal with that stuff when we get there. We're fully focused on the preparation, and like I said, Danny's top coach in this league, and they've got very good players, a very distinct style of how they want to do things. Like I said, at home, they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams. I think Tulsa, us, Louisville, and them, they're completely separated from the rest in our home stadium. So we know what it's going to be about. We'll deal with the break when we get there, but we want to have a strong performance in California.